Hello and welcome to the news at 10 on NTA News 24, reaching you live from Abuja. Comfort Modu.
Our strategic repositioning requires us to build on our sources and project a forward-looking agenda that resonates with the hopes and aspirations of Nigerians.
As APC National Caucus meets, President Tinubu reaffirms commitment to repositioning Nigeria, projects country's forward-looking agenda. Federal government says locating Africa Energy Bank in Nigeria is a historic milestone, consolidates Nigeria and Africa towards connecting investors worldwide.
To have economic policy that encourage local development.
Senate receives more inputs, recommendations from public on tax reform bills.
Prioritize immunizing children against polio.
International Polio Plus Committee immunizes children, leads a team on advocacy and enlightenment on foundation's activities. We begin with President Bola Tinubu's commitment to strategically repositioning Nigeria and building on current successes and projecting a forward-looking agenda for the country. The president made the commitment, but at the National Caucus meeting of the Governing or Progressives Congress, APC, in Abuja. State House correspondent Musba Wahab reports that President Tinubu won the caucus's vote of confidence for his handling of state affairs.
President Bola Tinubu attended his first National Caucus meeting of his party, and that popular rendition played out again.
The national chairman.
The APC was preparing for its first National Executive Committee NEC meeting since August 2023. In this seeming preliminary house cleaning, the national chairman, Abdullahi Ganduje, reported on the activities of the party under his watch so far, and the progress listed included successes in off-cycle elections in some states. However, former governor of Zamfara State, Abdulaziz Yari, called the attention of participants to matters of national importance, including the improvements recorded on the economy and fight against insecurity in parts of the country.
People evacuated because of insecurity, more especially. Let me cite one side, but today, God is infinite mercy. On that watch of our president, everyone can drive and apply that to pray.
Because the president has been able to drive most of the articles in our manifesto to fruition, we should be able to give him a vote of implicit confidence.
We shall stand on your mandate, on your mandate.
I'm very grateful. Thank you very much for the vote of confidence.
President Tinubu appreciated this and other show of support by his party members, commending them for their loyalty to the party and for believing in his administration despite the initial hard decisions taken.
Our strategic repositioning requires us to build on our sources and project a forward-looking agenda that resonates with the hopes and aspirations of Nigerians. I am here promising that we are doing that. I have a commitment to our manifesto, progressive ideas, and belief.
The president pointed out that the nation is already turning the corner on the reforms to place Nigeria for greater heights.
The policies are difficult. There is no way Nigeria could have survived the continuation of oil subsidy. There's no way. Today I can beat my chest, and each of the governors here, that allocations to the states is tripled. We have enough funding for the local governments. We have net fund to fund our children in the school.
With this meeting and the agenda drawn out, the party is set for its next meeting this Wednesday at the party's National Secretariat. From the State House, Musbah Wahab, NTA News.
The Governing All Progressives Congress, APC, has concluded plans to hold its National Executive Committee meeting this Wednesday, 26 February 2025, after 18 months. A rectangular canopy is already being erected at the party National Secretariat, while other finishing touches are also ongoing to accommodate prospective members, including the national leader of the party, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Following a caucus meeting on Tuesday at the banquet hall of the presidential villa, where resolutions for ratification were reached ahead of today's meeting at the Buhari House, headquarters of the party. The next meeting, which is in line with Article 11 of the party's constitution, would be happening 18 months after that of August 3, 2023, where its former national chairman and secretary, Abdullahi Adamu and Iyola Omisere, resigned their duties to the present Abdullahi Umar Ganduje-led NWC. Meanwhile, various groups on the platform of the Confederation of the AP Support Groups have described the local government financial autonomy by Tinubu's presidency as a deliberate intention to drive development at the grassroots. The group, through its Director General, Professor Keilani Mohammed, is urging all tiers of government to strengthen revenue-generating capacities and enhance growth, social inclusion, and even development. The group appealed for calmness in the Senate, urging the federal government to sustain efforts at Barrow the Sea in Niger State to diversify the economy and create investment opportunities.
Dependence on federal hangouts for sustainability by the state government in Nigeria cannot ensure development of the states at all. The single thing states need to do is to think outside the box and tap the abundant agricultural and natural mineral resources to complement what they get from the federal government. State governors need to work within the context of productivity for sustainable development of their domains.
Keilani Mohammed lauded the IBB memo, but urged for critical thinking for deep understanding of the autobiography of the elder statesman in bridging the deficit of history. Ambitious reforms in the energy industry embarked upon by the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration has positioned Nigeria as a global energy powerhouse that is open for business. President Bola Tinubu said locating Africa's energy bank in Nigeria is a historic milestone which has consolidated Nigeria and Africa towards realizing the theme Bridging Continents, connecting investors worldwide with Africa's energy potential. Details with Lydia Sampson.
Wheeling out the present administration's achievements in the oil and gas industry, Minister of State Finance Dr. Doris Uzoka Anyete, who delivered President Tinubu's message to the summit, maintained that Nigeria's oil and gas industry is beaming with opportunities.
By denominating crude sales in Naira, we are supporting the local currency and creating a more resilient economy. This initiative is expected to result in more affordable petroleum products for our citizens, ultimately improving their standard of living and stimulating economic growth.
Her message resonates with key stakeholders from within and outside Nigeria.
Unlocking the full potential of this great continent is an utmost priority for OPEC. The investment needs of the oil industry are sizable, with cumulative investment requirements amounting to $17.4 trillion from now to 2050.
Let's see how we can attract the requisite investment and solve the issue of energy poverty in Nigeria.
Let us seize this opportunity to forge new partnerships, explore innovative financing mechanisms, and accelerate the development of Nigeria's gas sector.
Today, that every domestic gas-based industry or power plant in the country is getting all the gas that it needs because we are building the infrastructure, we are delivering on this infrastructure, and this country is working. And
indigenous players say optimism is high that the Nigerian oil and gas is at a good place as the world's largest producer of both oil and gas reserves. That Nigeria has made tremendous progress since the last International Energy Summit is not in contest. However, it is significant that deliberations from here must translate to prioritizing energy security for all Nigerians. In Abuja, Lydia Sampson, NTA News.
As Africa strives for universal energy access, championing women's inclusion in the energy industry has been reviewed as crucial. Key players stress that by integrating gender considerations into energy policies, Africa can accelerate its journey towards sustainable and inclusive energy access. Let's join Lydia Sampson again for details of this report.
It is not a coincidence that at two different panel discussions, policy and women inclusion was highly considered influential in playing pivotal roles in achieving energy access and energy security.
The power sector is one that is driven by demand, is demand-driven, and so the activities of the downstream electricity markets would determine our generation capacity in upstream.
Long adage of the women are not there, and I think we've quelled it. Women are there, they're available, they're competent, and they are necessary to drive the agenda of this country and this administration in the energy industry.
They agreed that deliberate policies prioritizing all energy solutions must be implemented across the various sectors to harness and improve energy production and efficiency.
With Africa's abundant gas reserves, it is imperative that we maximize these resources to power industries, electrify rural and urban communities, and catalyze socio-economic development.
President Bola Ahmed Tinubu GCFR's administration prioritized energy security as a cornerstone of national development.
Key stakeholders who discuss strategies to bridge the energy gap, empower undeserved communities, and drive economic growth believe the best approach is to build sustainable energy infrastructure and reduce poverty. In Abuja, Lydia Sampson, NTA News.
All right, thank you so much, Lydia Sampson, for the updates there on energy and other issues in the economy. Now, let's take a quick break. More reports ahead.
Better food, not correct ingredients.
Latest report from the National Bureau of Statistics revealed that Nigeria's economy expands as gross domestic product grows by 3.84% in Q4 of 2024. We're joining Aliko Panachiaruwa to give us details of the GDP.
The National Bureau of Statistics, NBS, reports that the growth is driven primarily by the service sector, which expanded by 5.37% despite global uncertainties. However, in 2024, Nigerian GDP growth stood at 3.40%, up from 2.74% in 2023, reflecting continued recovery and expansion in key sectors. Meanwhile, players in the cashew value chain are calling for more government intervention in curbing sharp practices within the system, citing illegal exportation and exploitation of farmers. They complained that foreign buyers are now bypassing local merchants and buying directly from farmers, thereby shortchanging Nigeria.
Why are we exporting raw nuts that a kg is less than 2,000? A semi-processed kernel is over 16,000. Can you see the disparity? Raw cashew nut shell liquid, the back, the shell, if you process the oil, the crude, is over $250 US. Why are we doing this to ourselves? So the derivatives from cashew alone can create massive job and wealth and development for this country.
In another development, pay TV operator MultiChoice Nigeria has announced a 21% increase in the subscription fee for its DSTV compact package, raising the price from 15,700 to 19,000, effective from March 1st, 2025. The announcement has triggered widespread criticism from subscribers. Let's take a look at Tuesday tradings on the floor of the exchange. With business news, Alika Opanachi Aroa.
All right, let's lead more conversation on the growth that has been achieved or recorded in the country's GDP currently with Dr. Aliyu Elias, who is an economist, to speak to this issue. Thank you for making out time to join us on the News at 10.
Thank you for having me.
All right. What exactly do you think are the factors that majorly contributed to the 3.84% GDP growth in the country, especially in the services sector?
Right. I think it's a good news that we are having a growth in the GDP in Nigeria, even while we are waiting for a rebasing of the GDP. However, as it is, we have service sector taking the lead, though some of us think it's not supposed to be. But like a question actually clearly asked is that why, what are the things? Now, basically, when we say service sector, we simply means financial sector, insurance sector, and telecommunication and whatever that has to do with service. Those are the sectors that actually led. I think bureaucratic bottleneck was reduced. There was government support and there was a focus on that area. I think that's why we have much more, because if you look at our financial sector, there is more confidence now compared to before, and our stock is actually also doing well. So I think these are the factors that actually help us to grow to this level that we are now.
Okay, so we're seeing some sort of decline in the agri and industry sectors on the figures. So what policy changes do you think can be made to probably boost the performance of these sectors?
Ideally, as a Nigerian, or in Nigeria economy, we expect agriculture sector and industrial sector to actually take the lead, because if you look at it, virtually about 70% of Nigeria still halfway to the farm, though it's not mechanized farming. So I think we need to do. You also recall that during President Bola Ahmed Tinubu in July 2023, actually declared state of emergency on food security, and that has to do with agriculture. We're expecting by now that we should see the result, and that should take the lead. So we expect agriculture to take the lead, the industrial sector to take the lead, and also mining sector. You agree with me, we have invested more in mining, so we expect them to actually take the lead going forward.
All right, we see the services sector leading more than 57% in the GDP, but what's your take on the performance of sectors like telecommunications, trade, crude in the context of Nigeria's broader economic challenges?
I think if you look at the crude part of it, Nigerians actually do more. In fact, this president have done more in that sector. You agree with me that before we have less than 2,000 barrel, we have moved from where we used to be. You could see that there is also an action against oil, bunker, and a lot of things that is happening in that sector. So it's a good one. Then for the telecoms, me and you agree we can't do without using telecommunication sector. In fact, most banks rely on telecom sector now. I think that's part of what formed their strengths. Ideally, they should even do better than we are seeing now.
Okay, so before I let you go,
right.
We want to see GDP grow and also fight inflation, if I may use that word. What can we do to scale up production in the area of agri, specifically to boost exports?
I think a major challenge in agri is what we call supply chain problem. The fact remains that you look at the movement of items from one place to the other is quite very difficult these days because of the feeder road, because of cost of transportation, which is energy. So if we can solve our security problem and also make sure that our supply chain is being fixed, I think we'll have a way ahead, because supply chain determines virtually everything you do in the agricultural sector.
Thank you so much, Dr. Ali Elias, for making out time for the news at 10 and great insights you shared on the news. And we look for better output on the GDP going forward.
Thank you for having me.
All right, the federal government has received 2,000 tractors from Belarus, fulfilling President Tinubu's directive to reform agricultural activities in the country. Musa Baba Ali reports that the heavy-duty equipment arrived in Nigeria and has been assembled in Abuja.
In September 2024, Nigeria and Belarus signed a significant agreement for the supply of 2,000 tractors, a key aspect of the Bola Tinubu administration's renewed hope agricultural transformation policy. The first batch of tractors has arrived and is currently being assembled in the Federal Capital Territory. The tractors were accompanied by 9,072 assorted agricultural implements. Minister of Agriculture and Food Security Abubakar Kyari visited the assembly site in Kwali, where he underscored the importance of the initiative as a milestone achievement for the government. He expressed his satisfaction with the progress made in the Nigerian-Belarus mechanization partnership, which is focused on transforming agricultural practices in the country.
Consignment the 2,000 Belarus tractors for the wet season of this year. And we're expecting Mr. President to launch the tractors here in Abuja before being deployed immediately to the areas of operation. Promise was made by Mr. President and promise was kept.
So to maximize the impact of the project, the tractors will be distributed through 3 main schemes. Direct purchase. This option allows individuals and organizations to buy tractor directly, promoting ownership and investment in farming. The second one is leasing scheme, provide affordable access to mechanization without the need to full ownership costs, making it easier for farmers to utilize modern equipment. Service provider model. This approach establishes tractor service centers in farming communities, enabling local farmers to access tractor services efficiently. The agreement and the subsequent initiative reflect the Nigerian government's commitment to advancing agricultural technology and ensuring food security for all Nigerians. From Kwali, Musa Baba Aliyu, NTA News.
Nigeria has pledged a commitment to health and survival of local enterprises, describing them as catalysts for a sustainable economic future. Vice President Kashim Shettima made the pledge during a tour of the Secured Smart Card and Digital Solutions facility in Lagos. That's to mark its 20th anniversary. State House correspondent Abdurrahman Jibrila was there.
Vice President Kashim Shettima at the country's leading smart card manufacturing company for its 2 decades of excellence in manufacturing and digital solutions, a continental leader in digital solutions, now capable of producing 200 million cards annually, including international passports.
I know how the president is very passionate about patronizing Nigerian companies, and he will get to hear it tomorrow. And be rest assured that our passports, our voters' card, will be produced in this country.
Reaffirming the government's commitment to fostering an environment where businesses can flourish, Vice President Kashim Shettima assured that the administration is ready to help local industries fulfill their potential.
Secure ID is a testament to what is possible when vision is marked with dedication and hard work. Where there is a will, there is always the way. Against all odds, you thrived and you succeeded and conquered territories that hitherto belongs to others. It is my firm belief that the various ongoing interventions of this administration will pave the way for the emergence of more companies like Secure ID, companies that will transform our economy, create opportunities, and raise the living standards of millions of Nigerians.
And the promise of the administration is to support enterprises by fostering an environment where innovation thrives and where every citizen has the opportunity to succeed. From Lagos, Abraham Jibrila, NTA News.
And Joy Ken Abakboya reports that the Lagos State government is committing to fostering an environment that promotes innovation, supports responsible gaming and digital entrepreneurship. The state governor, Babajide Sanwo-Olu, stated this at the 2025 Africa Gaming Expo in Lagos.
Delivering his keynote address at the opening of the Africa Gaming Expo, tagged Transforming the Gaming Sector with Artificial Intelligence and FinTech, Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu says his administration is actively working on policies and initiatives that will position Lagos as the leading hub for digital gaming, FinTech solutions, and AI-driven creative enterprises in Africa.
The gaming industry has evolved beyond a traditional entertainment. Today, it's a key driver of creative economy. It's a strong generating employer of labor. It's fostering digital innovation and it's creating new revenue streams. Similarly, the FinTech has revolutionized financial transactions. It has helped to expand access to digital payments and financial inclusion across the continent.
Governor Sanwo-Olu, while highlighting the transformative power of AI, says the Expo provides a platform for stakeholders, regulators, and investors to brainstorm on how AI can drive efficiency, security, and inclusivity across gaming, FinTech, and entertainment.
This is more than just an expo. It's a launchpad for ideas. It's a launchpad for partnership. And we see it as a launchpad for innovation. We believe it will define the next phase of Africa's digital transformation.
More than 500 delegates from across the globe are currently participating in the 2025 Africa Gaming Expo. In Lagos, Joy Ken Abakboya, NTA News.